Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
For only the second time since this crisis began, we got a closer look at the numbers that the governor is using in terms of decision making for COVID-19. And there's some encouraging news, particularly when it comes to sending the kids back to school. We'll explain.
Okay, Rod, and it may be the most critical day yet in our fight against coronavirus. What you can expect from tomorrow's FDA meeting on the Pfizer vaccine from a man who will be there.
We're going to begin, though, with 2 young men killed by 1 bullet. Off the top at 6 tonight, 2 families dealing with heartache in a case that took quite a turn for investigators.
An Ypsilanti Township man killed himself with a single bullet that also killed another man in an apartment on Thanksgiving. As Larry Spruill reports, Washtenaw County deputies wanted to talk about this case to put some rumors to rest.
The sheriff's office says everything happened here at this apartment complex in Washtenaw County around Thanksgiving holidays, and they originally thought it was a homicide investigation, but now they say that's not the case.
And I remember it pretty vividly. It was Thanksgiving Day, right around 7 o'clock. Deputies were dispatched to a local apartment complex not far from here.
Derek Jackson with the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office tells me they responded to the Aspen Chase apartment after getting a call about a shooting.
Neighbors had heard a gunshot, and when deputies went in, what they discovered were 2 young men, both 22 years old. One was deceased at the scene, and one was transported to the hospital but had very severe wounds. He later, unfortunately, died of those wounds.
Jackson says at first they thought it was a homicide, but he says that's not the case.
And what looks to have happened is that one young man who suffered significantly from mental health committed suicide. His friend who was sitting next to him, I'm sure trying to help him, when he pulled the trigger, the bullet went right through his friend and into him. And so it was one bullet that killed both young men.
It's just sad.
Gabe Scott says he was close to both of the young men, especially Reed Carter, the man police say was trying to help his friend.
It's just sad. 2 people lost their life that night to something that could have been avoided. It all boils down to mental illness. We all trying to be in good spirits about it. We just trying to be positive and move forward.
Larry Spruill, Local 4.
And we do want to just say, if you or someone you know is struggling, there is help available 24/7. The number for the National Suicide Prevention Line is 1-800-273-TALK.
We turn to the coronavirus as cases appear to have started to plateau here in Michigan.
Today, the state reported more than 4,900 new cases and 75 more deaths. Canada approved Pfizer's COVID vaccine today. The country will receive nearly 250,000 doses this month, with millions more by March. We'll have more on tomorrow's crucial vaccine meeting here in the U.S. coming up in just a few moments. Today, the Department of Health and Human Services said there is reason to be optimistic, but warned we are not out of the woods just yet.
We rank 7th in the nation for the most cases of coronavirus, 4th for the most deaths. Let's get to Rod Maloney with us live now. And state health officials gave an update this morning on where things stand and the big priority moving forward. Rod.
Yeah, Devin, education, schools, moms and dads are certainly interested in hearing about that. We'll touch on that. But just for the second time since March, the state has gone ahead and held a press conference to give us the numbers, the real meat behind the decision making. And here they are. The Wolverine state ranks 4th nationwide in deaths, 6th in hospitalization rate as a percentage of total beds, 7th in total cases, 7th in COVID ICU patients, and 25th overall in case rates. While not sounding very good, the Department of Health and Human Services said today that we are down, meaning improving in all of those categories. There are 3 metrics the governor and her staff watch most closely. The percentage of COVID positivity over 7-day average. We're at about 14.4%. Next is the 7-day cases per million, which is appearing to be at 516 today, and the percentage of inpatient beds in use, that's at 18.7%. Again, those numbers appear to be down just a bit and giving us a good indication the virus appears to be slowing. Still, Chief Michigan epidemiologist Sarah Lyon-Callow said they do watch a much broader set of numbers.
You need to understand those 3 metrics within a context of things like outbreaks, understanding positivity and case rate in the context of, are we testing enough people in the state?
And as parents wonder what's to become of the school year and their children getting back into the classroom, Chief Medical Officer Janae Caldoun weighed in, making it clear.
There's no question that education and getting our kids ideally into in-person school is a top priority.
And she does say that they're seeing that the children transmitting the disease is becoming less of an issue, although she does say it can happen. She also said that schools are going to have to get really buttoned up on making sure that the mitigation, the cleaning and the disinfecting is done particularly well, and the social distancing gets adhered to. But they're certainly trying to get there. The question is how quickly. Back to you.
Yeah, in fact, any indication on when that can happen, Rod?
Well, what Dr. Caldoun said was that it's a situation where we need to see the community spread rate come down fairly significantly. And so the problem is that they're saying, look, things are looking good, but they still haven't got all the numbers in from Thanksgiving, and they're deeply concerned about what's to happen at Christmas. So you begin to get the idea that it's sometime next year, but how early or late remains the question.
Stay on it every single day. All right, Rod.
A Democratic state representative from Detroit who was threatened after the presidential election is now accused of making threats against Trump supporters. Today, legislative leadership launched an investigation into these comments made by Representative Cynthia Johnson. Listen.
Enough is enough. And for those of you who are soldiers, you know how to do it. Do it right. Be in order. Make them pay.
Johnson posted that video to Facebook last night. This weekend, she posted threatening voicemails targeting her, calling for her to be lynched after last week's State House committee hearing with Rudy Giuliani. Today, House Republicans took away her committee assignments, calling her comments, quote, unbecoming of an elected official. The representative clarified her statements in an interview with Local 4.
My soldiers for Christ, soldiers against racism, soldiers against domestic violence, soldiers against domestic terrorism.
A short time ago, Attorney General Dana Nessel issued a statement saying she condemns both the threats made against Representative Johnson and her response to the messages.
Moments ago, Detroit's Mayor Duggan announced the kickoff to his re-election campaign for 2021. He's been in office since 2013, won re-election, of course, in 2017. Leaders from across Detroit and Governor Whitmer are offering their support for the mayor thus far.
Those of us who know and who have worked with Mayor Mike Duggan are not surprised by the efficiency that he combated this pandemic with. In fact, the mayor has proven himself uniquely qualified when it comes to leading Detroit through hardship. And through it all, he has shown a deep sense of compassion every step of the way.
Mayor Duggan speaking right now, and you can watch his virtual announcement live at clickondetroit.com.
We are at the beginning of a slight warm-up around here.
Not much, but any warm-up this time of year is a good one, right, Ben?
Exactly right. And even today with the clouds, guys, you're right. We did manage to make it to a better spot than we did yesterday. 40s have left a lot of us, though, with these current temperatures. As we take a look at those numbers right now, still holding on to 41 in Metro Airport. But you can see that difference already starting to show up. The 6 degrees difference between Ann Arbor and Metro Airport, indicative of the clear skies. But generally, the pattern will shift. And a lot of that warmth that we're looking at in the western part of the U.S., it's headed here. Thursday and Friday, we shift from a northwest flow to more of a southwesterly flow, and that's going to start picking up some moisture, bringing it in our direction as we get towards the upcoming weekend. But tonight, chilly and getting clear. So if you're going to head out and look at the northern lights, you probably should. Our chances are pretty good. We'll talk more about that and the weekend rain and snow in a few minutes. Guys?
Okay, Ben. Tomorrow marks a critical moment in the U.S. battle against coronavirus.
The FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee will hold a day-long open meeting to discuss whether or not to authorize Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine here. Here's what you need to know about what to expect and what to watch for. Beginning at 9 a.m., the FDA will present its review of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine to its independent panel of outside experts. Their official title, the Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee, or VRBPAC for short. The acting chair is Dr. Arnold Monto, a world-renowned epidemiologist from the University of Michigan School of Public Health. He feels confident about the trial data thus far and the review process.
The efficacy is so much better than what we expected. These things will be available and totally transparent, so the public has no question about whether the vaccines are safe and effective.
The meeting will be streamed live on YouTube, Twitter, and on the FDA's website. Expect the panel to raise questions about the time of follow-up. Some previously pushed for more than 2 months of data on the vaccine recipients. Dr. Peter Marks heads the FDA center that will defend that decision.
This is a balance. We're getting there as fast as we can because we understand people are losing their lives to this virus. But make no mistake about it, we would not let any of these out of the FDA if we really had any concern that there was any hint that was going to be of concern to patients.
Other expected points of discussion: the allergic reaction seen in 2 UK healthcare workers, the safety of mRNA vaccines, distribution plans, and how the vaccine safety will continue to be monitored after an authorization. Do not expect to see any discussion of authorizing the vaccine for children under 16 or pregnant women. There is already agreement additional study is needed in those groups. The meeting will end with a vote to recommend an emergency use authorization be granted or not. Now, the FDA is not required to follow the committee's recommendation, but it generally does. If the advisory committee votes yes, the FDA is expected to give the green light to the Pfizer vaccine within just a day or two, and that means the first shots could be given as early as this weekend. So you can watch that meeting tomorrow. We will stream it for you on our website at clickondetroit.com, and we'll have complete coverage coming up tomorrow all day on Local 4.
Pontiac's Phoenix Center may be rising from the ashes. Today, the city unveiled a new deal that may bring about redevelopment for a big area downtown. The city is entering a deal with a private equity group, and that group will own the Ottawa Towers, and the city will own the parking garage and amphitheater. The city says it has plans to restore the amphitheater and bring concerts back there. It hopes to have that finished in the next few years. The Phoenix Center has been tied up in lawsuits for years. All right, we'll have much more ahead here at 6 o'clock.
Yep, here is Kim DiGiulio. Kim.
People who are suffering from severe COVID-19 symptoms right now need antibody plasma. And I'll show you how I donated mine and how you can too.
All right, Kim, but first, police say they caught a peeping Tom recording a woman in a Macomb County public bathroom, and they say it's not the first time he's done it.